what do you got for the market today? He's like, fuck, man, I don't know. And I was like, so let's just say that. Let's just say that, because really, like, we're not giving any advice. We'll say what the numbers are, and fuck, I don't know.
If you got money, buy. If you don't, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Buy.
Otherwise, oh, hey, there we are. We're live. What's up? What's up, daylight burners? Let's see if we got any people listening, watching. Hopefully they're not watching. We're a bunch of ugly bastards, so don't watch.
Hey.
Oh yeah. You're losing your hair. You got a great beard, but you have no hair. So.
Hey, they're power alleys. This is where all my power is derived from.
Yeah. Of course, my wife decides to fucking vacuum right now.
You need a recording studio.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on it. We got a couple people.
Fucking losers.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but hey,
no life.
Hey, I'm glad they're doing what they're doing, because
I know, but I still feel bad for them. Like, this is all they got going on.
Hey, I'm all about personal responsibility, and they made this choice, not me. They made this choice. Hey, we've got reactions too, so that works.
That sounds like a libertarian bumper sticker.
Fuck yeah. I am a walking libertarian bumper sticker, so.
Yep. That you are.
Well, folks, if you're tuning in, and if you've tuned in before, you know Jesse on the bottom right, Jesse Stetson. He's up there in Montana. We know a lot of the same people. We found out it's a small world the other day. Good fella. I like what he has to say. Up in the top left, we got Dakota Robinson down there in New Mexico. If you remember, he made the Joe Dirt / Allstups video here a while back, and for some reason, to a lot of people, your hat looks backwards. I don't understand that, but
that was the biggest load of bullshit over that whole deal. It's like people would like comment, oh, his hat's backwards, must be like country hip hop or some kind of bullshit. And I finally just give up, like, on
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can't help the ignorance sometimes.
Yeah, I never got that. I was like, well, if you're saying that, then all you watch is probably some fucking Western movies. You haven't been around and saw different styles of hats.
Well, seriously, like you can always tell when somebody's from like Florida. Not so much Alabama, I found out, because Thad's from Alabama and he's got a hat about like you. But like those like real Southeastern types, they got an Alan Jackson looking hat.
Yeah.
But if you're from Oklahoma, Texas, Colorado, New Mexico, you never know what the hell. Like, it's gonna be tacoed a little bit, but you never know. Like there's like South Texas where it's like straight taco, like Mexican style, but a 6-inch brim, so it sticks up even higher.
Right.
And then like Jesse is pretty well classic northern, like Northern Plains type. Out here you got the flat hatters, but you also, I don't know, everybody wears their hat difference, and I've seen a lot of weird shaped hats, but like I've never thought yours looked backwards.
I mean, it's one of those things, if you're in the club, Now, Robby, you probably don't know. So
this is my old beat up piece of shit hat.
There you go. Yeah. It looks fine to me. Do you like it? Shoot, rock it.
Well, I got a wedding hat too.
Yeah.
But no, this is the hat I used to ride bulls in and shit. It's beat the fuck up, rained on, shit on, pissed on.
Yeah, see, mine starts out kind of like Dakota's. Like it's wide in the front, tacoed up, and then eventually it just like gets rounded, and it looks. Eventually, it looks like a mashed up version of Jesse's, where it's just like curled up.
Right.
Yeah, this hat was never this shape to begin with. It's funny. It's like the Dakota's hat is, one of my good friends. He was a bull riding buddy of mine. He was a Mennonite from Mexico. He was redheaded,
German Mexican.
But he spoke zero Spanish. He's from Mexico, and so I moved him into my house, and we were riding together to get him out of the commune. But he wore hats just like Dakota's. And he talked like he's from fucking way down south, and he always tell me, man, I want to live in a single wide trailer up in the hills and be a hillbilly someday. And the son of a bitch did it. He's a horse trainer now.
When the front porch collapses, it kills 6 pit bulls.
No, he hunted coons. He had coon dogs, and he'd keep them in a trailer.
Right.
In the stock trailer.
Yeah. Because he really liked his quiet time.
Poncho was a character, man. He had a basset hound as his like lap dog. And then he had a bunch of coon dogs in the stock trailer. And at night we'd go take him down on the river and run them every day. That man was a fucking character. He talked like that so bad. So I quit riding bulls and he went on his own way. And one day he stopped into the house and we were talking. And all of a sudden and I didn't know anything was different. And he took off his sunglasses and one eye was completely fucking red. The entire eye. And I went, damn. He talked. I said, Punch, what the fuck happened? I called him Punch because he was punchy. And he goes, well, I got jerked down real bad. But he talked like that all the time. I didn't know. He had a fucking metal plate. And he got the tough Hedeman surgery. But he talked like that all the time. I didn't even know. Yeah, well, I got jerked down over there that day, and I got to get a plate in my face. I've been on heart about 3 weeks. I never even had a clue.
Goofy bastard.
I know. Oh, Poncho Weeby, that's a cool dude.
Dakota, I got to say that video that you, I guess it kind of went halfway viral. I don't know how many views it's got, but I know it had a bunch. You sent it to me, and I know I'd seen it before then, but it was before I kind of started sharing shit on Facebook. Usually before I started this thing, I just send shit to my buddies because I didn't want to have to deal with the backlash of people that disagreed. Right. But then I started my own page.
Last time I checked, it's got like 250,000 views or something, and I just made it, just jacking around, like didn't even like think about it. And I posted it, and at first, it was just like to my friends only. They're like, man, you got to make this public. You got to make it public. And I hit the public option on it, and boy, it just freaking took off like wildfire. And
that's awesome. But
I can't even imagine, because we've had some on the page that, went over 1 million, but to like have your personal page shit posted to go like that, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's wild. Because that
means it's been shared.
I was hoping to get some kind of an Allsup's endorsement out of it or something, but so far,
well, they should have.
You need to add them at Allsup's
spokesman.
Yeah.
Get a free hat or something, Dakota. What the hell?
Yeah. Give me a burrito, motherfucker.
Yeah, free Timmy's for life. I could settle for that.
Seriously, what's funny is like I never lived in Texas. I never lived in New Mexico or Oklahoma, but I lived very close to all 3 of them for a good chunk of my life. So I know Allsup's very well. And if you're new to Allsup's, you see that case of all their fried food, and you kind of go, I don't know. But you get a chimichanga, guaranteed you are going to explode a toilet in about 20 minutes, but guaranteed it is going to be fucking worth it. Like that chimichanga is awesome.
There's a reason they give you a fistful of napkins with every one. I mean, it ain't just like they're worth it. They're worth it.
And I don't know what the fuck deal is like. I know you guys probably know by now. I'm in the natural gas industry now.
The kids out.
But like every one of my buddies at Cowboys, like They'll tell me to meet me in a parking lot. We'll swap these horses around. All right. Every fucking time there's a chimichanga in hand if it's around noon. Every goddamn time. I don't know what it's about cowboys and chimichangas.
You bet. They're essential to, especially like, West Texas, New Mexico cowpuncher life. Like, you live on a steady diet of chimichangas and either Coors Light or Pendleton. Like that's about it. Or Yellow Bellies if you're sophisticated like myself. But I mean,
high class.
you gotta be high class with a Yellow Belly, But
well, the Buckskins are top of the line.
You bet.
I live in a trailer, but like I've got the double wide, so I'm like high class white trash around here.
You bet. Yeah. Our closest neighbor is, I guess, like 10 miles away, something like that. That would be at the headquarters. So we're our own high class white trash.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's goals for me.
Well, whereabouts in New Mexico are you at?
Right smack dab in the middle, pretty close to the town of Corona, ironically.
Oh, is it their fault? Is this thing their fault?
I've been waiting for like the backlash of the general public to be like, oh, it all started in Corona, New Mexico, and come and burn us all. But it wasn't our fault.
Well,
so you say.
When in doubt, blame China.
Yeah, allegedly. But,
bro, get out of the frame. Get out of the frame. I mean, hi. I'm glad you use headphones.
Yeah, she's not real happy with me at the moment. That's all right.
But we can go into that too, because I just dealt with that shit too. I'm telling you, man, these fucking women. So like my 1-year-old, I guess, was fucking around with like this big buffalo painting I have above the bed and got it all cockeyed. So my wife was like, hey, can you come in here? I just can't stop thinking about it. Can you come in here? I don't want it to fall on us. Can you come fix it? I said, yeah. So I went in there and I fixed it. And as I'm fixing it, she goes, well, just take it down. So I fixed it. She goes, well, what? Yeah, but what if it falls? I said, well, but I fixed it. Well, she goes, how do you know you fixed it? I said, I just fucking did it. That's how I fucking know. It just happened. And she goes, can you just take it down? I said, yeah. Fuck me. So I sat on the goddamn floor. And I went and sat down and cracked me a beer. She goes, you act like I'm crazy. I said, bitch, you are. I said, you are crazy. I said, you lucky I love you. I said, I fucking love you, but you fucking are. And I want you to know that right now.
How'd that go over?
She knows. She laughed. She was like, yeah, that was probably kind of crazy. I was like, no shit.
The question is, though, how long was the painting hanging there before she realized it was crooked?
Well, you see, we got this big old long headboard that goes across the entire bedroom. And so it just sits on it. And I guess my kid had pushed it up against the wall. So she was afraid it was going to fall over. So I just went and angled it back like it was for the past fucking year. And I said, oh, okay, you're good, right? She goes, how do I know it's not going to fall? What do you mean? I just fucking did it.
You have it braced up like a son of a bitch, and it still might fall. Like you don't know. It always might fall. Like that's the problem.
But see, and back in the day, I probably would have threw a fit and been like, you dumb fucking bitch. And at this point in my life, I'm fucking 30 now. I was just like, I'm going to set the painting on the floor and I'm going to go back to the beer. All right. Are you good? Okay. If you're good, I'm good. We'll fix it tomorrow when things are different. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
If you try to understand the woman's mind, you're going to go crazy. So just put the painting on the floor and go back to the alcohol. Everything's fine.
That sounds legit.
I think I'd follow that if I was you. It's been working pretty well for me.
Yeah, I can't follow that. My wife stands 6'2" and hits like a boy, so I don't argue.
6'2"?
6'2", you bet.
Jesus, that's an Amazon woman.
Yeah, well, I'm 6'4", so I still got her edged out a little bit, but
yeah, but you still better watch your mouth, because
you bet, absolutely.
I say I'm about 5'10", and my wife's maybe 5 foot, so and she's still fierce. So I'm okay, because I don't, unless she catches me while I'm sleeping, I don't think she'll kill me. But right. I won't put it past her.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, I got my kids.
I wouldn't blame her, but
I got my kids trained to the whole, if you mess with the bull, you get the horns deal. And it drives my wife nuts when they run through the house saying that. But she started fuck with me earlier, and I said, "Hey kids, what happens if you mess with the bull?" And so they start chanting, "You get the horns." And my wife's like, "I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it." So I jumped on top of her, man. I had her fucking wrapped up, had her in a headlock. And she's like, "I don't give a fuck. I ain't." It's the bitch headbutted me. She fucking headbutted me hard enough to kind of dot my eyes a little bit. I had to take a step back. I was like, damn, she ain't playing. And so I got in there even more. If she wants the bull, she's gonna get the bull. She didn't cave. So I started licking her face, and I went Ferdinand the bull on her. I licked her face till she said, "You're fucking disgusting. Get off me. I get the horns."
Well, Jesse, what the hell's going on in your neck of the woods? I know you're getting ready for a wedding.
Yeah, getting ready for a wedding, which has been kind of a big undertaking. So we planned on getting married in Mexico, old Mexico, first week in April, and all that got canceled because of the old COVID-19 shit. We had to recircle the wagons and take after. We're just doing it here at the ranch now. So now the barn's got to get a big scrubbing and all kinds of work done to it. So we're doing.
It's still probably like 10 below zero up there too. So
hey, we're in the banana belt of Montana, man. It's nice. It's been 65 every day and sunny and little rain here.
Oh shit!
Nothing too bad. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of like the very south central part of the state.
Gotcha. Yeah, so
I wouldn't mind that. I love Montana. I don't like winter.
Yeah, there's some rough. I mean, you get 30 miles outside of this area, and it's rank.
So my wife actually just showed me a place in Montana with like 160 acres, and it was an old log cabin. It had an old log cabin barn and working facilities. And I told her, like, maybe we should fucking move. But then my 6-year-old came in. She goes, "Well, is it warmer there?" I said, not in Montana. So the kid nixed that deal.
Not even close. Not even close.
And it was a badass place. I mean, this cabin was built in the early 1900s or late 1800s, and the inside had been redone, so it was nice.
That sounds cool as hell.
A 2-story log cabin. It was fucking cool as shit.
Huh. After we got married, we moved to Wyoming, and they stuck us off in a cow camp up in the mountains. No running water, no electricity. The cabin was built in like 1880 something. It was freaking paradise. It was so
sounds
cool.
Like Wyoming. Yeah.
Yeah. And oh man, like I never thought I would drag calves in a snowstorm in June, but I did it there.
Oh yeah.
When I lived in Wyoming, that first day I walked outside of my house and it was like -20. I was like, "Oh, no, sir. Not today. I ain't doing this. This is horse shit."
I really thought I'd catch a bunch of shit, like living in Northwest Wyoming and being from Texas, originally. But I really only had one guy the whole time I was there giving me shit. And we were at a Brandon one day, and everybody's there, and they're riding some pretty good size, kind of rock crushing horses. I showed up on my kind of Texas cow ponies, And he's sitting over there, and I'd already seen this dude, out on the drive before we made a gather, into the pens. And like, this dude is, dressed to the nines. His hat is tabletop flat. His chinks don't have a speck of blood on them. This dude just stepped out of a, trail rider catalog.
Oh, just Hollywood type, huh?
Yeah, he's the only guy I've ever seen ride a crooper on his horse, like, without riding a mule. But
yeah,
he's already like, everybody else is kind of holding their spot on the drive, and this dude's just like zipping back and forth. Just everywhere at once.
That's a super puncher.
Yeah, this is like a super buckaroo, if there is.
Well, yeah,
super buck.
Super buck, superoo.
He had 10 tie strings fucking flying behind him.
A Subaru.
And we're ready to drag calves, and he starts talking about, my little Texas cow ponies. They probably can't drag shit, and I'd been already nominated to be one of the first to rope. So I barreled off in the middle of the pen, which I don't like to do, but I felt like I had to prove something. And I picked the biggest calf out of the bunch, picked up 2 feet, and cooked it to the fire, and just like dang near drug it up to his feet. And that guy just like kind of let it go and whatnot. And then later on, and this is a pretty good sized brand, and there's probably, 20, 30 guys there, and they sit us all down at this big long table to feed us all. And I can hear him running his damn mouth down at the other end of the table, and he starts talking to him, saying, "Oh, there's Tex down there roping with his tie string." And I stood up and slapped the table real loud. I said, if you'd learned to ride your horse, you could use a short rope too. And boy, everybody, they lost it. But that was about the only guy that gave me shit about being from Texas, or what my hat looked like, or the fact that I was probably the only guy in 4 counties wearing Bell leggings. Is what it is.
Matt just falls into the bad crowds because he goes up.
Oh, fuck.
He catches
I had people trying to pick a fight with me every time I went to the damn bar. I'm not a fighter. I ain't afraid to talk a little shit, but I just soon not fight. If I'm going to bar, I like to drink and bullshit and have a good time. And every time when I spent 3.5 months up in north central Montana, Jesse, up on the High Line, that country. There's some pretty tough folks up there. That's some tough. Ooh, it sucked. Oh, it sucked so bad. It ruined me on Montana forever, basically. Like I'll go visit. I'll come visit you in the summer one of these days, but I ain't going back in the winter. Fuck that.
That's my same thoughts on Wyoming. And in the summer, I'll tell you, that's the most beautiful fucking country I ever saw.
Well, see, in the summer. I ain't ever had anybody from Wyoming want to fight me because I was from Texas, and I'm not from Texas at all. But I had apparently, because my hat was wider than 2.5-inch brim, that meant I was from Texas up there.
Yeah, this is Texas. This is a Texas brim up in the fucking
if you're not wearing a bowler up on the High Line, they think you're from Texas, and I end up getting in a fight in Cleveland, Montana, which is a town of about 3. Yeah. I don't. Have you been through there, Jesse?
Sure.
Okay, so you can verify for me, because it was a little dark when I was there, but it was a schoolhouse, a post office, and a bar. There might have been a church. I don't remember for sure, but I know that the post office and the bar were in the same building. They just had a dividing wall between them.
Party wall.
And yep, it was a good time. I will say that. I broke a window out with a dude's head after he rolled over the pool table. And like I said, I'm not much of a fighter. I don't mind throwing down if I have to, but I just soon not. And this fella was probably about your build, Dakota, but you said you're 6'4".
Yeah, tall,
so,
skinny, looking.
Yeah, so like subtract about a foot, but the same build.
Right.
But like 5'4", so maybe like $1.15, something like that is how. And I'd had a little spat with him a couple weeks before. He told me like I wasn't allowed in his town, which was Havre. He's like, you know where you're at? I said, well, I'm in Havre last time I looked, and he was like, yeah, it's my town. I said, well, that's cute. And he didn't like that. Exactly. So well, that's cute, little feller.
Yeah. You pat him on
And
the
so
head?
I thought I was going to, but he had this big burly fella that kept trying to fight me. Bad thing was he was too drunk to, like, he had double whiskey cokes in both hands, like just double fisting doubles, which no shade on there, but he was like, what are you gonna do? You gonna fight me? Like, he kept running into me, and I got bad enough where like I was elbowing him in the kidneys, and like it took about 4 elbows before he felt anything, and then he'd be like, why are you elbowing me? Stop fucking running into me. And he's like, it's a bar, it's crowded. It's not that fucking crowded, just leave me alone.
Probably like 6 people in there.
Yeah, it was 7, I think. I mean, you know, if we're being
big night.
we're big time bar. And but he's like, he's got both of his drinks. He's like, you want to go? And I was like, hey, you really, like, how bad do you want to drink those whiskey cokes? And he's like, I like these whiskey cokes. And I was like, you obviously don't want to fight then, because you've got one in each hand. So what are you going to hit me with? And he's like, and then the bouncer kind of jumped in, and I got the guy that I worked with, and I was like, let's get out of here, because I really don't want to get my ass beaten to a pulp, because I don't know how many people this guy knows, and I also don't want to spend the night in the Havre City jail. So we left, and then like the next week we showed up in Cleveland, Montana, which I said there's like 3 people that live there. And the first person I see when we walk in the bar is this little fucker that was starting the whole, and he started chirping immediately. I was like, God damn it! I just want to drink some beer. Like we're getting ready. Like we're a week out from the Kevin due date. So I was like, God, I'm not going to town again for the rest of the spring. So I just want to drink, have a good time. Let's have some fun. No, and this little fucker's chirping the whole time. And finally, like, another guy was like, just fucking sock him. As long as you're not dirty about it, ain't anybody going to stop you. There's no cops here. So I was like, but I don't want to. Like, I'm here to have a good time. He kept talking shit. And he eventually blew smoke in my face. I said, don't do that. And then he poked me in the chest, and I pushed him. And then he came at me, and I hit him. He cartwheeled over a pool table and broke a window with his head, which I offered to pay for, because that technically was my fault. And they would not let me. And then eventually he told me, he's like, well, I get drunk and I make bad decisions, and he bought me a shot of whiskey. So it was all good. Wow. that was my experience in Montana bars.
and that's why me and Matt are like so yin and yang. We work so well together, because in that scenario, as soon as that guy says, you want to do something, going, yeah, okay, let's fucking do it then. Let's get over it now so we can drink the rest of the night. Matt's always the reasonable one.
Well, like, I knew without and like, not that I was a big fella. I'm still not a big fella, but like at the time I weighed maybe $170. And I still outweighed him by 50 pounds at least. Like, there's no way this guy is going to beat my ass. I've got way too hard of a head for that to happen. Even if he's a good fighter, he's not getting the best of me. So I was not worried about it at all. But I was like, what is your deal? I never said a word to this guy before he confronted me in the bar. I have no beef with this guy at all. I'm just here to drink some beer, have a good time. What the fuck are we doing? And
you know, and dude, that actually, I don't know, I never said this, but that same scenario basically happened to me at I was up in Amarillo, Texas. I was with Poncho and Dusty. And after the bull ride, it was McCloy's rodeo. Well, this Mexican kid, he never drew out. He showed up at the rodeo and said, I ain't getting on. So, of course, the contractors fucking lost their shit on him. It was like, you got to get a drew out or anything. Why don't you fucking call us? He was like, well, I don't, my knee hurts or some pussy shit. And I told him in Spanish because he wasn't there when the contractors were bitching about it. But he showed up after the rodeo. So I told him in Spanish, I was like, dude, you fucking pissed him off, you dumbass. It's like, you need to not be here. And some drunk ass fucking 16-year-old kid who was riding bulls that night, he came up to me and was like, I know Alan McCloy. What do you got to say about him? I was like, well, I've known Alan McCloy a long time. He's a hard ass, but he's a good dude. So you want to fight about it? And I was like, excuse me? And he was like, yeah, do you want to fight? I was like, and his mom was there too. But he was drunker than a skunk. I was like, well, I mean, yeah, if you want to, but why are you mad though? First, before we fight, let me know why you're mad. That way I can kind of get my head around it. Because, well, you're talking shit on Alan McCloy. I said, no. I told that old fella over there in Spanish that he was in deep shit. He needs to get the fuck out of here before Alan whips his ass. And the next thing I know, that kid's in my face. And I pushed him off, and I pushed him off. At this time, I had a pregnant wife at home. So I was kind of trying to tame myself. And old Poncho came up to me after the second time and goes, hey, you spoke your piece. Go ahead and whip that old boy. And I said, well, he's fucking 16. He shouldn't even be drunk. And his friend comes over and goes, what's your problem with him? I said, I don't know. He thinks I was talking shit. And all I said in Spanish was to that kid that he should not be here. And that old boy goes, oh, okay, I'll take care of it. He drug him over there and whipped his ass himself. For running his goddamn mouth. Bunch of Kansas boys.
Yeah, fucking bar fights. They're something else.
Nobody ever wins. You ever notice that? Like, you could whip somebody's ass and all of a sudden somebody's shoving you in the back of a cop car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and if you beat them too bad, then everybody feels bad for the guy that you whipped. And even though it was his fault the whole time, you end up being the bad guy and you end up with a fine. Yeah, it's bar fights are stupid.
Situation.
Yeah,
that's what I was maybe like the most disappointed about him is like, you lose, well, great, you just got your ass whipped. If you win, well, great, you're probably getting either tossed in jail, fined, kicked out of the bar, or everybody just hates you for the rest of the night because you just whooped on their buddy.
Yeah.
Well, and that was the deal is like with those two fellers, one time we were up in Coldwater and we went to a local bar. And so all the ladies were fucking it's a small town. So all these bull riders came in. They're like, oh, this is fucking great. And they're all old and nasty, hitting on you. Well, some drunk ass fucking locals wanted to fight. And I was like, at this point, I was kind of declining. I was done with this shit. I was done riding bulls. I was just trying to finish out a few rodeos. And the guys I was traveling was like, why? Well, we got to fight these motherfuckers. I was like, what's the fucking point? I mean, they're badasses in their town until we're here. And then when we leave, they'll be badasses again. So why the fuck are we going to fight them? And then they lost their shit. They're like, no, we got to fight them. And I was at that point in my life, I was like, fuck, I don't even care, dude. Like, I don't care. We can go back to the arena, grab a 12-pack. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are fucking losers. Who gives a shit?
See, I like any tough guy anymore. I like to just challenge him to some sort of ridiculous cowboy competition. Be like, all right, I've got, yeah, spell the but like, I've got this Holstein heifer over here. If you can get her out of the pen by herself without having to sort her back, you are a better man than I am.
That's not fair. You can't use Holsteins.
Oh, yes, you can.
They're abominations. They're abominations.
Well, you can use them to prove a point.
With a passion. Like,
you and me both.
probably the only time I thought like I was really in a jam and about to get really hurt in the feed yard was because of a Holstein. And
well, the bad thing about them is like they're not even mean about it. They will walk right over the top of you, and they don't give a shit. Like,
well,
like and there's no malice in there. Like, you know, like old Bramer cow, she'll run over the top of you and like watch you as she stomps a hole in your guts.
But she's honest about it.
Look right through you and just walk over the top of you and never even think twice about it. But they're not even mad at you. They're just going over there.
Right. Well, I was riding pins, you know, there at the feed yard, and most of them, you know, were crossbred cattle, but we did have a few pins of Holsteins, and a few were big Holstein steers, you know, about ready to get shipped. But there's one that, like, everybody will tell you there's nothing meaner than a Holstein bull. And I don't know if they missed a nut on this dude or what his deal was. But there's one steer in there that was pretty freaking mean. And so I'm riding, you know, up to the bunk, go through the bunk gate, and I no sooner threw the bar down and latched it than I hear brrr, and I turn and look. And here comes this sumbitch like a freight train, and he gets his head up underneath my horse, and he's got us shoved up in the corner where the bunk rail meets the bunk gate. And there's only one place for us to go, and that's over the rail. And I could just picture my horse flipping over upside down into the bunk and just crushing me like a bug. And so I'm sitting there like, he'd kind of beller and pick us up to the rail and, you know, then let us back down, and I'd be kicking on my horse, but it's slick on the bunk pad, so he can't get any traction because the steer's got him pinned up. And finally I felt that horse's feet come all the way down, and I mean, I'm kicking like we're about to win the Kentucky Derby. And I spin around, I went to the next bunk gate, and I whipped the gate rod all the way out of the gate, and I rode back over that steer, and I beat him until my arm was about to fall off, and we never had a problem. But
you're gonna learn today.
Time, like I was like, this is about to really suck. Like, there's no good way out of this situation.
I had one of those one nutters kind of like that. I didn't get in that bad of a situation, but like and especially when I rode my Palomino mare in the pen, like just immediately he'd come there, just right to her tail. I choked that sucker out. Like almost all the way out, 4 days in a row before he finally leave us alone. But like every day I'd ride in as soon as I shut the gate, I just slap a loop on him and just, you know, I had almost a 70 footer at that point, but I just slide some rope and pinch it off with about like 10 foot left and just let him sit out there and choke out for about 10 minutes, and then I'd lay him down, get my rope back, and like 3 or 4 days in a row I did that, and he finally would leave me alone. But and it wasn't
I can't wait for Peter to chime in on this one.
Right?
Yeah, come on. I should tag him, and I think I can.
Hey, you know what? All press is good press.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Choke them so long they can tell you what Jesus looks like.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Make them see that. God. Kevin Furno said I'm 5'10" if I'm standing on a phone book, but I think Kevin Furno lists himself as 5'10", and I'm just as tall as he is. So we're on the same.
Kevin Furno is a goddamn character. That boy is a character.
We're on the same phone book apparently, but whatever.
That is the most hilarious human being I think I've ever come across. Kevin.
I think so. And then Nick Schilling is apparently a PBR fan, but he's from Nebraska, so that makes sense. I like a little PBR. It's a good working man beer. The hipsters kind of took it over, but either way, it's a good working man beer.
All the hipsters, they ruin fucking everything.
I know it. So I guess you're a native Montanan, right, Jesse?
No, I'm originally from Steamboat Springs, Colorado.
Oh, that's right. You told me that. You told me that. Well, anyway, you spent a good amount of your life up in Montana. How many people actually drink Rainier up there?
Not very many.
All right, Sam McHugh, you're full of shit.
You're full of shit, Sam. You two-bit fucking crooked bastard.
I think maybe some of them old boys that are closer to Washington, they might flirt with that piss water, but not many of us do.
I think Sam's trying to make it a thing, but it's not a thing.
I did know one guy. I worked for an outfit in Hot Springs, Montana, and I knew one old man that loved Rainier beer. He's the only guy I've ever met, though, in Montana that drinks that shit.
That's probably Sam's grandpa or some shit.
Yeah, it might be.
Probably so. So I bought a 12-pack of Rainier because I went on a deep dive on Longmire, which is a good show. Walt Longmire, by the way, is the worst fucking sheriff in the country. The guy has so many murders in Absaroka County. It's fucking terrible. But
that's what I never understood. Like, if it's some small little Wyoming county, how is like somebody getting shot, stabbed, hung, or burned every single day?
Right? Like,
because you can get away with it.
I lived up in that world. There ain't shit going on up there.
Yeah,
that's why you got to murder. Like you get bored, you go murder someone. You're bored.
I kind of want to drink a beer with Walt Longmire. I think he's probably a good guy, but I think he's a god awful sheriff.
Yeah.
And see, I'm just talking out my ass because I've never even really got into that show. I tried.
That's a pretty good show.
Fucking episode, man. I'm sorry to admit.
Yellowstone's my jam. Yellowstone.
I like
they're about the same as far as reality goes. They're about the same.
Yep.
I love that fucking show.
Well, I liked Longmire a lot. It was just funny. Me and Ro were always like, he's got to be the worst sheriff in the country though, because like somebody's always getting murdered on his watch.
Like he's cool, but like a lot of people are dying.
But I bought a 12-pack of Rainier, and
how was it? What's the
closest comparison I can say is like Rolling Rock, so water basically.
Oh, but I'm good with Rolling Rock. Like if I feel like I want to relive my college days or some shit, I'll go buy a 6-pack of Rolling Rock.
I'd probably argue though that it's more like Natty Ice or like even like Keystone Ice, like Keystone Light type shit.
Yeah, you might be right. It's
I don't understand the problem here. What are you saying?
No, I just I don't see what Sam's obsession with Rainier is, but I guess to each of their own.
He's probably trying to start his own hipster trend,
Oh, he does follow the hipsters of Bozeman.
Yeah. He is the Mitt Romney of punk rock.
Every time you get a chance, you're throwing that out every fucking time.
Fuck yeah, because it works every time.
It's pretty good. I'm not gonna. I can't knock you down for that. That may be your greatest one-liner.
ever. I'm gonna use it because it works. I know that I overuse it, but it works.
I can see that tying in, right? Because Mitt Romney's Mormon, so they like that.
Oh yeah. Well, and he also he just goes with whatever's popular, which the backstory to that, we were discussing some music festivals, and he is talking about how he went to Warped Tour one year, and it was like the punk kids versus the goth kids, and I said, which side were you on, Sam? And he's like, oh, I played it right down the middle. I said, of course you did, because you're the Mitt Romney of punk rock.
That's right. I forgot where that came from.
Speaking of music, the podcast you did with Corblund, I saw Corblund live one time at a little bitty dive bar down in Kenny, Texas. And I mean, like, most people have a living room bigger than this bar. And
yeah,
fucking wall to wall. And it was just him and his guitar. And it was the coolest deal ever.
Dude, I cannot say enough good things about Corblund. That guy is the fucking man. Like, dude,
I'm glad to hear that he's the real deal, man. Because you never know, dude, till you actually talk to somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I made that post because I told him, like, so I met him in Elko. He was just hanging out at the Star Hotel, which is like the big place to go.
Hold on.
Basically. So I sucked his dick, and then I was like, hey, man, would you like to come on the podcast? Anyhow, that all aside.
$20, right?
Hey, that's right. That's right. No,
I got some knots in my forehead, but his tour bus was real nice.
No, he was just he was hanging out for this show, and so I just went up. I was like, "Hey, man, I got a podcast. You want to come on?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it. You got a card?" And I didn't. I do now. But I was like, no, because I actually said that because I was like, no, I don't, because I'm a fucking amateur. And so then I was like, you can find me here and there. And he's like, I'll just give you my phone number. And I was like, no shit. And he's like,
Matt was like,
yeah. Excuse me. And so I was like, all right, cool. I played it off. I waited a week and I texted him, and then he waited like 2 weeks, and then he texted me back. No, but he was 100% like to his word. And I said, hey, if you have a good time on this deal, share it on your social media. And he did. And so like I've got nothing but good things to say about the guy, because like we all know his music, like his music resonates to our type of people because it's real shit. Yeah. And then to find out like he's actually that real type of guy, it's awesome. Like there's not many people like that, and like he's a good motherfucker. I'll never have a bad thing to say about him. He's just as cool as they come. That was a big get for me, and it was a fun fucking conversation. He's a nerd, which is awesome because I'm a nerd the same way. But he was fun to talk to. I texted him today. Texting with my best friend Corblund about coming on the bull session, but one of these days he might. We'll see. Probably not, but we'll try for it.
But but also like the entire Red Dirt scene. I mean, me and Matt have been through. We partied on Josh Abbott's bus for 2 days. We met with men. I mean, they're all the same. Those Red Dirt guys are all down to earth, all of them.
Yeah. Well, that's like he was saying. He was like, because Corb's been big up in Canada for years. Right. And he said it was the Red Dirt guys that really kind of adopted him, and that's where he made his name in the U.S. and that's how I found out about him. And honestly, like he speaks more to like our type of people than even the Red Dirt folks do, because he comes from a ranching background. Like he knows what the shit is. Like a lot of those guys, they come from Texas or Oklahoma, but they're not, they're in the country scene, but they're not in the rancher cowboy scene like Corb was. And so like
they're a couple notches removed from like Luke Bryan,
Yeah. Kind of. But it's
maybe a generation.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, Corb's been in what we do, and to find out that like he's like he's really as authentic as he puts out in his music. I thought that was cool. He just and he was a man of his word, which he should be, but to find out that he was, it was cool. It was refreshing.
And you still need to get #@ Preston Wade on this goddamn show.
I've tried. I've texted him, but never got a response.
Wonder if he's changed his number since they got like big.
Maybe, I don't know, but anyhow, it was he'd be a good one to have on. I know him pretty well, but no, I was.
Yeah, I know. I had to drag you off the bus. You were passed out.
I was. It was a good time. It was a good time.
I was outside talking to another Becker County guy about bull riding. Preston came out and was like, "Hey, probably about time to get your cousin." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "No, he's asleep in the goddamn motor coach." I had to drag Matt out of there into a fucking empty parking lot.
This was day 3 of like a 5-day bender too. So.
Oh yeah. No, we'd gotten tattoos, into a brewery. Like we had the whole scope of everything. We had done it.
It was a good time. It was stock show week.
Yep. Oh yeah, went to the stock show. I think I was driving barefoot because Matt was shining our fucking boots up on the way to the stock show.
Had to shine up her boots. I had $20. I was gonna throw it around.
Hey-o.
Yep. No, that was cool. That
was a good fucking time.
Yeah, like that. I don't know. It's one of those things. Like I started this thing just for the hell of it, and it kind of grew on its own, and a lot of it was just talking to folks like you guys, which that's kind of what I started off with, and then you get a big name like Corb, but I never really chased him. Like I got his number, I sent him a message, but like I was never. I told Robby, I sent Robby and a couple of the guys screenshot right after I saved his number, blurred it out so they couldn't text him and ruin everything.
Yeah, but then you didn't blur out his number above that, you dumb fuck.
Fair enough. I was also a little drunk when it happened, so
he blurred out the number that he was talking to, but he left the entire phone number above that.
Yeah, but if it was Bill Bullard, Matt, in your defense, he would have FaceTimed the motherfucker and Robby at the same time. So you're good.
Well, and you also would have heard as he was scrolling.
We've never done this here before, boys, but I'm gonna take your live license.
I thought I was gonna get a little more shit for that little comment, but I did not. My one of my good buddies is a pretty big RCAF guy, and he's like, "Dude, I watched the RCAF live stream because he's like, I told my wife this might be groundbreaking," and he's like, No, it wasn't. It was everything I've ever heard from him ever.
Yeah.
I watched the first 5 minutes and I cut it off.
Yep. No, I watched the whole thing thinking maybe he might say something different than he has the last 25 times, but
never had.
No, in 5 minutes I was like, well, I know where this is going. So
yeah. No, I think he's an important voice to have out there, but absolutely. Man, he's I don't know. You gotta change it up every now and then, but we're not gonna get into that today. Like there's a lot that we could talk about on that.
That's a whole episode.
I don't know if there's any solutions to be had, but we're here to have a good time. Fuck all that. Like the market sucks. If anybody hadn't, if
talk
anybody
about
had
a drunk idiot or something. Let's like
if anybody hadn't realized, cattle markets fucking suck. When nobody knows where it's going, it's up and down. It's up the limit one day, it's down the limit the next. Hold on to your shorts. That's
my
the best.
side, guess what? The oil market is down too, and we're not impressed.
Yeah, you had to pay people to take oil the other day, so what the fuck do we know? Let's just have a good old time.
That's it. I'm just glad I'm employed.
Did you see the message the other day? There's a guy from West Virginia that made a full March Madness bracket out of Western movies. I'm gonna post it. I haven't had a chance to look at it completely yet, but I like the idea.
That is a great idea.
Yeah,
it's
I
hard
know.
to keep track.
So I just read the message he sent me. I didn't read the whole bracket, but he's like, I added the ones that you guys mentioned, and plus like the next most highest rated off of IMDb. So, but he's got a full 64 Western movies. I'm gonna look at it. I may make some changes.
Our entire podcast and put it all into a bracket.
I'll be down.
This dude has got nothing on it to do on it besides fuck around.
Yeah, he's not.
I'm dedication.
Yeah, which respect. Let's all raise a glass to that guy because that's awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
But I was like, holy shit.
And I haven't looked at it yet. Because the Rounders was mentioned at one point, so it's on the bracket.
No, this dude broke down everything we fucking said and put it into bracket.
And then added movies just to fill out the rest of the bracket.
It was amazing. It's amazing.
So, I got to figure out how we make it into a poll so we can go round by round, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I like
obscure shit that I said, like some obscure movies that we talked about.
Yeah.
That no one really knew about. Like he put everything into it.
Yeah, so it's gonna be up there, and one of these days we'll do another just strictly Western movies.
And he needs to probably come on because like what is he doing with his life? I need to know this.
Yeah, yeah, we got to get him on too. But it was that's impressive.
That was impressive. I totally forgot about it.
That's a great idea.
Well, yeah, and there's no sports right now, so fuck it, might as well. It's we'll take
put some money on it.
I was gonna say we should take wagers. I wish I was sponsored by like MyBookie or BetDSI or something, but I'm not. So we'll just
start having televised PBR events again. They're loading up to go to Guthrie right now.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So that's pretty cool, I think.
Hell yeah. Mike,
and I had
fucks up, buddy.
He was like, he was saying he's like the coolest thing is, it's like you're at a practice pen.
Yeah,
but like
exactly.
with the best bull riders in the world.
Right.
It's like that's fucking cool ass shit.
Well, I mean, it's got to be weird getting on. Like, okay, so you're in the top, the elite level of bull riders in the world. And you're nodding your head on the best bulls going down the road because, now you're in Oklahoma, you're in bull country, and there's no crowd. Like, it's just like the hardest core practice pen you've ever been in. Like, I think that's awesome.
That's what I was. My first thought was like, if I was there, I think that'd almost be even cooler. I mean, I get like the energy is cool, but like that would be like super fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're hanging out with your fucking friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking shit like, hey, wait, pull my rope, bitch. I'm about to show your ass something.
Right. My bull riding career was nothing glorious. Like, I could get one road, but I wasn't about to just like win the bull riding, But then when I hit my last growth spurt, started fighting bulls, and man, like that was cool. You know, like being in front of a crowd and working every bull and being out there for the whole show. That was awesome. And like, I can't imagine what it's like to be on, you know, those guys' level and like getting to do that. I mean, at least they're going back to work, you know, like,
yeah,
sitting on the couch.
Hey, but real quick though, Matt, like Dakota, could you turn your hat around the right way?
I
had to. I've been waiting this entire time. I had to. I was waiting for it.
Oh,
I was looking for my spot. I had to do it.
I'll give you his address later. You can go beat his ass.
Sounds like you just gotta give him his wife's phone number, man, and she'll take care of it.
Yeah.
No, she's mean.
My wife scraps harder than I do. I ain't scared to say it. I mean, I'd stack money on her any day.
Hell yeah.
That's where I'm at in life. Yeah. No, I go.
I gotta go get a beer. You guys.
You muted too quick, you dumb fuck. Well, what do you, I mean, I think we already know, but start with Jet. What do you do for a living?
What do I do for a living?
Yeah.
Just ranching. So we raise black baldies, so black Angus cows, Hereford bulls, and then we do quite a lot of hay. We do about averages out to about 5,000 ton a year of hay, and we do kind of a mix. We do a lot of straight alfalfa and some sandfoin and some different grasses and stuff. And then we just dove into this hemp deal here last year. And
oh, really?
Yep. We've been flirting with disaster with that shit here for the last 2 years. Our learning curve on that's been about vertical. But
well, I mean, my dad just passed away here in November, and we've got a bunch of ground down south. And I've said, I know we're in Kansas. I said, but I before he even passed, I told him, I said, hey, it's all on CRP. I said, when this shit it's gonna pass one day down here.
Oh yeah.
I think we need to be on the ball and go ahead and fucking deal with that shit. Because guys just across the 30 miles down the road in Colorado are doing it.
Right.
I got land at the very end of Kansas.
Yep.
They're throwing it around in New Mexico now.
Yeah. So last year we did CBD hemp, and that was a big undertaking, man. It was a lot of labor, a lot of work, a lot of handwork. There isn't a whole lot of mechanized options for harvesting and planting.
That's what I was wondering.
And stuff.
Oh, you're growing hemp?
Yes. Yep.
You got anything for your own personal stash, or just hemp?
You, buddy.
Little homegrown. Everybody likes a little homegrown.
He's like, I got hemp on that South 40, but on the North 20.
Oh, got a little Khalifa Kush.
Yeah, but so last year we did some
marijuana has never killed anybody.
Ever.
Look at Willie Nelson. Hell, he's the last of the legends, man.
Dude, I hope Willie dies inhaling a blunt.
Yeah.
I like if he's gonna die any other way, it'll be a disappointment.
Hey, speaking of Willie Nelson, did you guys ever see the Willie Nelson Snoop Dogg smoke off?
No.
Mm-mm.
It's worth watching because old Willie puts him under the table.
Oh, I believe every bit of
I
that.
believe that. Willie Nelson befriended the Mexicans way before it was cool, just so he could get the good shit.
Well, he did. I tell you what.
And actually, I think I don't know if this is true at all, but I read somewhere that the first time he smoked, stereotypically, he got it from some black jazz musicians back in the 50s.
I believe every bit of that. Hey, Willie, you don't want no part of this, Willie. You don't want none of this. I think I do.
Oh.
And you know, as soon as he smoked that shit, he lost the suit, the tie, his hair started growing.
Yep.
Maybe that's what you got to try, Robby.
I've been down that path.
Yeah. What's funny is
I did until it turned on me.
Yeah.
So like I went sober for 6 months off alcohol. So I smoked weed for 6 months. And before that, like back in the day, I used to smoke all the time. But I did go on a 6 month bender. And I guess I'm getting older or something. I don't know. But you know, I take a hit every day after work like I was drinking a beer. And then one day I took more than one hit. I took a couple. And next thing I know, the weed turned on me. Because all I could think about was like, how am I going to afford these bills? Got to raise these goddamn kids. And the fucking weed turned on me bad.
It did not make life easier.
I was like, yeah, okay, I guess I'm done with that shit. Going back to the bottle. I was 6 months clean and sober, but after that fucking 2-hitter night, nope, I was back on the beer. Shit turned on me.
It's funny that the first time I went to a dispensary up in Denver. I don't think I even bought anything at the time. I just wanted to see what the hell it was about. And of course, like everybody that worked there looked like they should work there, you know, like big gauge earrings, tats all over, dreadlocks. But God damn it, they knew exactly what they were selling. They knew exactly what you needed. Like you tell them, you know, and I was like, I don't even know. I'm just here to look for it. And they're like, you want to smell something? I was like, well, fuck yeah, I want to smell something, just whatever. And so like, they pull out a jar and like, well, this does this does that. And then you look around at the clientele and you got like people in probably like $4,000 suits.
Yep.
Little old grandmas. You got young guys, old guys, young ladies, old ladies. Like everybody smokes weed. Everybody smokes weed.
Dude,
and I
was 19,
I didn't.
I had my goddamn but I was living in Colorado. And I was 19. And so I went in, I was like, I need my medical marijuana license. This is back in the day. And she was like, okay, so why do you need it? I was like, well, I grew up in Kansas on the farm and the ranch, and I got back problems, you know, my spine hurts. And she goes, you mean you've got muscular problems? I said, that is what I mean. I've got muscular problems. And so at 19 years old, the best shit in my entire fucking life, I had a medical marijuana license. And then so at 19, I went to work in Boulder at a car, like an automotive repair shop. So across the road, I had these gals that would give me free coffee all day long. So I drink free coffee, and they give me a discount on all the food, all the bagels and shit. And right next to them, after work, I'd go over there to the dispensary, and I'd get 20% off all their shit. And that was the best time. I mean, back then, though, I was, you know, I'd wake up, smoke, get ready for work, smoke on the way to work. I'd work. Every break, I'd go take a smoke break, drive around fucking Boulder, check out all these beautiful women smoking. But back then, man, I was a full-on pothead. But now, you know, my older years, like I said,
well, I'll tell you what, man. My grandfather is 80 years old, and he's had 6 different back surgeries. And this guy is an avid outdoorsman. He shot every big game animal in North American continent. Avid golfer, avid fly fisherman, and he wheelchair bound, addicted to Oxycontin, and he switched to marijuana. And that guy can play 18 holes of golf at 80 years old. Still has energy, feels good about life. He's not addicted to painkillers, and you know that was kind of a game changer for us. You know, I mean, it wasn't so taboo. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird deal. Like, but you look at some of those like the videos back in like the 50s when they really started outlawing the shit.
Oh yeah.
God damn, the reefer madness stuff.
Ridiculous.
God damn it.
Gateway drug, Matt.
Gateway.
Yep.
Gateway.
Well, and you take like, okay, so take like my dad died of cancer, and Matt's mom died of cancer, my grandma.
I'm sorry.
And both of them were pretty much Bible thumpers. And in their dying days, they were both on fucking pot.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you, this might be a little bit of an overshare, but I've been battling cancer myself for 2 years, and I take this.
No shit.
Yep, I take this shit called RSO, and it's a really intense THC blend, and it's like a paste. It's like black tar, and I have not. I did 6 months of oral chemo before I started this stuff, and this stuff has knocked the shit out of it, man. I mean, it's really been powerful for me personally to see the results. And I've got a hell of a great doctor in Seattle at the Seattle Cancer Center, and she's been pretty damn stoked on it too. And I'm thankful she was willing to kind of lean a different direction, you know. But for me personally, it's done wonders.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. But I tell you this is me and Mateo, we got your back because cancer's fucked up our family for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, cancer is a real motherfucker. No, I'm glad, and you get a little enjoyment out of your treatment too, so that's good.
Yep.
Makes you think a little deeper.
Right. Contemplative chemo.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I grew up in the Bible Belt, and and then
Southern Baptist mama.
And then the more I looked around that Bible Belt, I found out how many people actually subscribe to that, and there's a whole lot of people smoking weed in the Bible Belt. So
yeah, almost all of them. They just don't tell nobody else.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're drinking or you're smoking in the Bible Belt, you're not alone. You just don't tell anybody. You go to the next town over to get your shit so nobody talks about you.
Right? That's right.
Unless you're Dakota and you're 100 miles from town, you damn sure ain't going 100 miles to the next town. So you better have my weed and my beer, huh?
Man, what are we, 2.5 hours from the closest Walmart? Like,
yeah.
It's out here.
Yeah.
He's like, well, hey, when you done growing? Shit.
It just, oh man, like that. I mean, I hate to bring up the freaking hot topic, that everybody else talks about, but during this whole quote unquote media fueled pandemic, we haven't had to change shit. We're still operating the way we always have, and we're better quarantined than everybody else anyway.
Right.
Yeah, actually, I told the guy the other day, they were talking about, I was like, hey, I kind of hope this shit lasts. Like, I don't really want to open up. I want to open up as far as the economy, but like as far as the rules, we can just keep them like this. It's like I already went out of my way to stay away from fuckers, and now they avoid me. And I don't have to go to no safety meetings, none of that shit.
It's awesome.
No trainings. Fuck yeah, let's keep doing what we're doing. Just open up everything else.
It's funny as... Oh, go ahead.
I hauled cows from Vaughn to Portales, New Mexico the other day. And, well, from here to there is about a 3-hour trip one way. I passed 6 vehicles that weren't a pickup with a catch trailer. They were 5 semis and 1 car, but I could get used to that shit all day long. No problem.
Fuck yeah.
But
fuck yeah. I was talking to somebody the other day the same way. Like they were hauling cattle from here to North Platte, Nebraska. So that's 1,600 miles probably.
Right.
And he's like, I've never seen less traffic on I-80. And I-80 is, that's there's a lot of fucking traffic on I-80.
Right.
And he was like, I maybe from Fernley, Nevada to North Platte, he said he saw like 30 cars.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking ridiculous.
Well,
Over
and here's
1,600 miles.
I know you two don't know, but I got this nice little blue roan colt that ends up. He's probably got some fucking problems, and so I'm getting rid of him. Well, and my brother, he went to school down in Port Tallis, so he was telling me the other day that he's gonna go to that Clovis fucking sale, and I was to pick up some horses, and I'm thinking this may be a good fucking time to go ahead and send some money with him and pick up fucking colts.
Dude, like, no bullshit. Out of New Mexico, you can get good freaking horses for cheap.
That's what I was thinking.
Like, it's so far from everywhere that nobody's willing to spend the money to like ship them off to Texas or wherever to get a good price for them. But
my only question was, are they going to have that Clovis sale?
Well, okay, so the sale barn's still open, right? And they have it there. I know they have a team roping demonstration somewhere. I don't know if that'll still go on, but I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, see, like
I think my brother felt bad about my fucking. I had a beautiful blue roan colt, beautiful looking blue roan.
What's wrong with it?
Oh, I think he's got that. What's that shit called? That central nervous fucking
EDM.
EDM. Yeah.
EPM.
When he gets hot, he loses his fucking head. He just don't act right. And he's gentle as fuck. Any other time, he's gentle as fuck. But once you get him warmed up, he loses his fucking mind. I mean, fall down, shake, just lose his fucking head. So,
but it's only like when his blood gets flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. Whatever the impressive line has.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, you can't fix that. Hate to tell you. But.
Well, you can kind of, but it's like a 50% chance.
Yeah,
you can treat it, but you just don't know if it's gonna fucking work. And then when it does work, they're still off.
Right.
But you already
like, can you fix it? I mean, to a point, but
And he's only he's a 3-year-old. I mean,
well, you already cut him. He ain't got papers, so it ain't worth investing. So,
and that's what I was telling him. I was like, look, like, I don't even know what he's gonna be yet. Like, what's the point of spending like a couple $1,000s on a horse you don't know what he's gonna be yet? Yeah. You got high hopes for him, but you don't know. Yeah. So why spend that kind of fucking money on? I mean, a horse I picked up for like nothing as a yearling. I picked him up for like $200 as a yearling because he's a blue roan.
Right.
So I ain't gonna spend $2,000 on a test, and then another $2,000 on a treatment. I ain't gonna do that. But that was my point. Was my brother was like, well, hey, and he felt bad for me because he had high hopes for this horse too. Because Matt's seen him. He's a good looking fucker.
He's good look. He's a little fella, but he's good looking sucker.
He didn't grow like I thought he would. Because I know his daddy. His daddy's a big, giant fucking blue roan, and his horse just did not fucking. He didn't grow. Huh. And then with all this on top of it, I was like, yeah, he's got to go. He's got to go.
Jesse, how tall are you?
6'1".
6'1". So you're a little taller than I am. What kind of horses do you ride?
So my I'm spoiled rotten, man, because my great grandmother was one of the founding members of the AQHA. So Dakota.
Oh, so you got foundation bloodlines through and through, you motherfucker.
He's foundation bred.
Well, so, there's a reason I had you on the podcast a couple times, or whatever. But go ahead.
Well, Dakota was talking about them small Texas horses, man. My mom's got brood mares from the King Ranch and the Horses and the Pitchfork and Circle Bar and all that jazz. So I appreciate the hell out of them little soggy bottom freaking horses, man. They're badass.
Fuck
well,
yeah.
That's why
I like a cow horse.
Because my thing was I don't like having to step up all tall. Like up in Montana, they need them tall horses, but down here, I don't like climbing on them tall motherfuckers. Brother,
I'm here to tell you right now, man. That's not what we run. In our bloodline, you're hard pressed to find something that gets over 15 hands, man. I mean, it just You know, these are all Peppy Sand Badger type stuff. You know,
No, I love the Peppy line so much. I love it.
Me too. I love
my good mare is dual pep and Doc's Hickory bred, and you cannot get me off that line. Like that mare is so good.
We went and picked her up together, and I offered him like double what he paid that day.
All right, so she is shapy as hell, but other than that, she is as plain as the day is long looking at her. But you get her working, and son of a bitch, God, she can work. Like she's a chestnut with 4 stockings, and she's got like a dog bone shaped blaze.
Yep.
And the guys that you bought her from said, "Oh, she's just a horse. She's just another old fucking horse." And so by the time we got back to my house, Matt goes, "Do you want to ride her?" And it was dark. And I was like, "Yeah, I do." So we dumped her off, and I fucking rode around this fucking little this field over here, and I was like, "I'll double your money." And he wouldn't fucking do it.
No, I wouldn't let her go for less than 10.
$1,500 for her, so I mean I get it.
Yeah, I give 15 for her. I wouldn't let her go for less than 10 grand. She's awesome, just fucking awesome. Like
She's
you can go
a cutter reject is what she is.
Yeah.
She stands just shy of 15-1, and she's a little bit chicken boned, not too bad. And I say this because I've roped everything and anything out of her. Like I've roped a 2,000-pound bull or close to it, and she took it just fine. You know, I mean, I slid a fuckload of rope, but you know, she held him, no problem. I drug a cow up into a trailer on her. You know, I like anything I've asked this horse to do, no problem. And like she will get down and fucking cut. And then I can put my little girl who you saw running back and forth several times. And this old horse just puts her head down and just goes boom, ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom. And it's the coolest thing. Like she just dumbs it way down when she's got somebody like that on her back.
Well, you know,
I've had her sold like 6 times. Never, something always fell through, and I'm always glad it did.
I offered to double your money the day you got her.
Well, that wasn't a real offer, so whatever.
Well,
it was real. I would have sold her for twice that.
I'll tell you what, man, it's fascinating out in my neck of the woods because a lot of folks are going to this half draft cross shit. You know?
Oh, that's happening.
I see that.
And
I see that.
It's just dumbfounding to me because
I've got guys asking me all the time, "Can you find a quarter cross or something?" Like, well, and the guy that my good buddy who trains, he's got horses in the NFR all the time, but like, you know, picking up like his pickup horses, he sends the NFR, and he's riding one now. And I told him, I said, "Hey man, why are you wanting to get into that shit?" He goes, "Well, I want something I can fucking tear a house down and won't fucking quit on me."
I started one 3 years ago. He's a half draft. He's some quarter horse stud over a Percheron mare, blue roan, mane and tail, feather footed, stood a tick over 16 hands, and he pegged the scale out at 1,500, like just a monster.
Yeah.
And he wasn't that bad to start. He never did buck. He did run smooth off several times, which you get that much horse going that fast, it is scary. But
I don't like them runaways. I'd rather them buck than
like
run off.
Anytime I would have the choice, I'd rather them bog their head and try to lick their asshole than just run smooth off. I mean,
because there's no good place to step off when they run off like that.
Yeah, and when he's that tall and that freaking big, I mean, I look like a little kid sitting on him.
Yeah,
but
I believe it.
There wasn't a damn thing I couldn't rope and just tow around. Like we had a set of Oh, we had a set of portable corrals one time that we were pulling into the pasture, like almost to where we needed it to go, and a wheel just broke smooth off, like it's on the ground. And so we're sitting there trying to figure out what to do, and for some reason, like we couldn't pull it with a pickup or something. So that horse was there. It's like, hey, let's put a couple ropes together, because one will break for sure, but just maybe he can move it and open up these pins. And sure enough, I think we braided up like some ropes together and tied off to this dude and give him his head, and he moved those wheelies to where we needed them to go. Got down and pulled, but cool horse, super cool horse.
That's funny that you guys say that. So like when we kind of learned that this little colt of mine maybe was losing his mind, so my buddy, like I trade out work with him. So like we trade out, he'll bring me hay and I work on his truck, or he'll ride a colt for me and I work on his truck. So he's been riding his colt, and he said he was at the indoor arena right down the road the other day, moving some steers around and shit, just trying to fuck with him. And this horse, I saddled him for the first time. I got him from his mama. He'd never been touched, and the halter broke him, rode him around a little bit. And he seemed like, man, he just fucking gentle. Like he got no problem. And I started him in a fucking a barbed wire pin. Like it was no big deal. He was just fine. And he called me that day and he goes, well, I was riding around the pen. Everything was fine. And then he started to buck when I tried to bring him back around to the right. I said, that motherfucker's never bucked. What are you talking about? Because he just came on fucking glued. He goes, so then I snapped my rein. So I brought him back around to the left. He goes, you ain't going to believe this shit. I snapped that rein too.
Oh,
he goes, but I held on to it. He goes, but then this motherfucker started bucking. And then he really started bucking. He goes, and it got intense. He goes, and then once he realized I wasn't coming off him, he took off at a dead run around that arena. He goes, and after about 6 or 7 trips, I was thinking, well, goddamn, they ain't gonna fucking shut down. So he took that rein and threw it under his neck and caught it and started twisting on it. He goes, and you won't believe this shit. I go, what'd you do? He goes, that motherfucker passed out. He passed out. He hit the dirt. And I go, dude, what? No fucking way. That's like a movie. He goes, no. He hit the dirt. I said, what'd you do? He goes, well, I got up and I fixed my fucking headstall. And when he woke up, we got back on and went to work.
So I got on this horse for an old fella here 2 weeks ago, I think. Or no, about a week ago. When did I tell you I got bucked off? About a week ago?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
2 weeks ago. All right. So this old fella, Mr. Ted. Mr. Ted's a bad motherfucker. He is 78 years old, out of Oregon. You guys know anybody from Oregon, like Oregon Cowboys?
Oh yeah.
They're a different breed. Out on the Sagebrush Sea. There's some good fucking hands. Like sure enough, buckaroos, but hands. And so, but this is like an old school Oregon buckaroo. But I traded him out of a pickup. I told him I'd work for him, whatever. And it started off, I was just gonna cut some firewood for him. Well, got later into the year, he doesn't need a whole lot of firewood. He's just cool old guy, whatever. And he's got this old mare, and he's like, well, I've been wanting to ride her, and he's like 78 years old, so he can't really do that anymore. Which actually, the more I've been around him, I think he might actually be able to ride better than I can. Not that I'm very good, but this old fella's pretty handy. Like he walks with a cane, but I seen him jump on a fence faster than you wouldn't believe. And he's got this little bay mare, 8 years old, and like I have no dreams of being a bronc stomper in my life. I've rode some colts. I've rode some pretty nasty horses, but I would say you guys can kind of agree with me. Like if you make it past about 5-6 jumps on just a regular old colt, you can usually get their head pulled around and they'll kind of come out of it. And so, like, if you make about 6 jumps, you're usually pretty good. This fucking mare, like, I made about 8, 10 jumps, and her head just kept getting lower, and you're just like, oh, like this bitch is serious, like
Stronger
real serious. Oh, and we're going Oregon style buckaroo, so like there's no bit in her mouth. This is just a fucking hackamore. And her head's getting lower, and I'm getting a little farther forward every fucking time. And yeah, 6 times this bitch threw me off. 6 times. I've never been thrown that many times in my life. Like I'm not a bronc stomper by any means. Like I am not a bronc rider. Like I can stay in the middle of one long enough to get them talked out of it, but that's my deal, is like I can usually talk them out of it. There's only been 3 horses in my life, 3, that have bucked me off more than one time, because I can usually, like, I can get their head yanked around and then we get along. This bitch, like, I never had a chance. Never had a chance. Like, we had one of those choke ropes on her with like a croquet ball that like pinches her air off. Oh, yeah. Didn't fucking phase her. Really? Like, her head just went like, just never stopped her at all. And
just tougher than the rest.
Oh fuck, man! I so when I was in college, I got cow kicked. Well, not cow kicked. I got double barreled right in the chest, like 2 feet right in the chest, and I think I broke a rib or dislocated it. But every time I get bucked off since then, that rib pops out of place.
Yeah.
Ooh, fuck, man! I was hurting the next day. I've not had a horse manhandle me like that in I don't know how long, but
and Matt walked into that pen going,
right?
Cowboy, son, cowboy.
Pretty well. Well,
cowboy.
So
yeah,
to
boy.
put it in perspective, I like this guy's 78 years old, and he's like, she might buck a little bit, and I was like, oh, okay, well, all right. You're also 78 years old.
Cowboy.
Yeah. Ooh. I finally the last time she bucked me off, I said, Mr. Ted, because that's what you call him, because his name's Mr. Ted, basically. he's a cool old guy. But I said, Mr. Ted, I hate to leave you on a low note, but this old horse is not getting any slower, and I'm running out of gas real quick. I hate to leave when I haven't rode her, but god damn it, she's got me whooped at this point.
Beat you like a redheaded stepchild.
Like worse. I just felt bad about living at that point.
Yeah, and that's where, like, on my little colt still, that's where I got lucky, because, like, you know, I only sent him to him because this guy trains badass horses. I mean, he's got horses. You know Emily Miller?
Yeah.
Well, he starts all of her colts.
Oh wow.
Well, you're from here, you know him. You've been down here, you know Glaze. Dustin Glaze.
No.
Well, maybe not, but so, like, my thing was, like, well, he owes me money. He's want to start this colt for me. I can make a horse a horse. He can make a horse a good horse. I can't. Now, right. I can make him ride around and do all right, but, like, he can make him do some cool shit.
Right.
But if I would have fucking done this, if I would have started this colt, I would have thought the entire time I was doing something wrong. And my ass been through a barbed wire fence, run over, stepped on, fucking beat down. I'd have been a broke dick motherfucker after that fucking colt.
See,
so,
you some bitches are all lucky because y'all have broke horses. I don't have nothing but colts. That's all I'm allowed to ride is colts. And the oldest horse in my string, like, I think he'll be 4 next month. So, Like about the time I get them really rocking and rolling, they're on to the next one. You know,
that's the worst part about riding colts is you finally get one lined out and they're acting nice, and then you're just like, well, see ya.
Yeah. About the time like I drug a bull in a trailer the other day on this colt that he'll be 4 next month, and I didn't even want to tell my boss about it because like, golly, now he's just probably going to take him from me. I don't know, but he says, well, he can do all that. He can go on to somebody else. So I get tough sometimes. It's about the time they start getting good. You want to start hiding them out somewhere so nobody else can see them. Yeah, well, that's when you want to hook a little flank strap on them just so they buck every now and then, so you can like, he ain't ready yet. He ain't ready.
Oh, you mean tie a string around their nuts, Matt? Oh my god!
Exactly. Tie a string around that gelding's nuts, and he will buck every time. Every time.
If it's a mare, folks, that's the way it works, right?
Well, then you pierce the lips.
It's jokes, you faggots. Laugh. Easy, Peter. It's a joke.
Hell, they wouldn't get it anyway.
No, they
wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. Carol fucking Baskin.
Yeah, I was just man.
Carol Baskin, you bitch.
That bitch.
That bitch down in Florida, Carol fucking Baskin.
See,
I'm never gonna financially recover.
Like, you don't get where that show comes from, but if you've driven through there, you're like, I can see how this happens.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we've got this running joke in my household. We went down and Robby was there. We were in Fort Supply, Oklahoma, down by Woodward.
Right. Yeah, we went down with old Jim Bob, the processor.
Yeah. We spent
the crew he processed for had they were a processing crew, and they had a trailer and jet skis down in Fort Supply that they'd let the employees use.
Yeah, so we went down to Fort Supply for a weekend, and at one point I woke up, I walked outside, or I was getting ready to walk outside, take a leak. Yeah. And I was just in my boxers, and my wife goes, put some pants on before you go outside. I was like, why would I put pants on? We're in Oklahoma.
Better dressed than everybody else anyway.
Fucking Oklahoma. Nah. But I've said it many times. I've never met anybody from Oklahoma I didn't like, but I do like to give them shit.
I live in fucking Hooker, Oklahoma. Hooker,
home Oklahoma. Of the horny toads.
Yeah, for many years.
Hooker or Booker?
Hooker.
Oh, with an H.
Hooker.
Oh.
Hooker.
Hooker horny toads.
Pam or Pan?
2 M's. 2 M's.
Yeah, and nowadays around here on the house, like, if me and the old wife gets talking too much, she'll say, I'll just cut right into my, Sheena McKinley, you fucking bitch.
Oh, shit.
That's too easy.
No. Well, fellas, it's been a good fucking chat. I've enjoyed the hell out of it. Let's do it again. Jesse, where can everybody find you at?
StetsonRanches.com.
Cool. Go ahead.
We're on Facebook.
Go ahead, Jet.
Jesse Stetson. It's
cool.
Jess with 1 S because.
Oh yeah.
They had to pay by the letter on the birth certificate.
They do shit a little different than steamboats. So,
right.
Jesse with 1 S. Dakota, how about you?
So it's Dakota Robinson on Facebook. And then on Instagram, it's Dakota Robinson Official. I know that's a really douchey handle, but there's several Robinsons that like fight MMA and play like AAA baseball and stuff, and I didn't want any of them to get it, so I took it.
Fucking A, buddy.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. One of these days they'll pay you for it, so.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping to make some money off of it.
And I will sell out so fast.
It's all right. And maybe they'll give you an all subs chimichanga for it.
You bet. Hey, 3 chimichangas on the right day, and you can have my Instagram handle.
Hashtag also.
Fuck yeah.
Hashtag also. Hashtag Darman. Hashtag whatever toilet paper brand comes with also.
All right, fellas. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and move your ass. We're burning daylight.
Thanks, fellas.
And it's good to meet you, fillers.